Hey everybody, it's Ken here. And so today we're going to talk about college versus YouTube. Now, I know this is a real estate channel and I'm going to get to that, but here's the thing that a lot of people don't think about. College is a business. It has revenue and it has expenses. It either makes money or it doesn't. So at the end of the day, colleges do look, obviously, at their profitability. And on a lot of college campuses, you're going to find colleges that own real estate, they lease real estate, they do all kinds of stuff around real estate, like housing and dorms and fraternities and buildings that they house that the students go into. And those are all charged for. We also need to look at the universities, the education system, and how that impacts real estate. The reason for the title, Colleges versus YouTube, is that we actually went out and we interviewed a bunch of college students, which you'll later see in this video. So let's take a look at the college revenue. Three of the main drivers for revenue for a college are tuition, room and board, and college athletics, if they have an athletic program. Let's take a look at the college expenses. So just like any other business, just like real estate, the college expenses, the biggest one always is payroll. Those would be the professors, the teachers, the administration staff, everything that it takes to run that university or that college. You obviously have other things like utilities, insurance, marketing, in some cases property taxes, but we're going to get to that because a lot of universities are property tax exempt. We'll get to that later. The point is that every university, every college, every higher learning institution, and even the online learning institutions like YouTube or anything that's direct, has an income and an expense and a profit. That's the point. Just like real estate, just like any other business. So I'm going to break this down into three different points of view. The first one from the college's point of view, which is very different than the parents' point of view, which is very different from the kids' point of view. I'm going to have all 3 points of view. And as I told you earlier, we've even got some kids to tell you exactly how they feel about college right now, especially now that it's all moving to Zoom, and especially now that YouTube and other things are such great resources for them. So the first point of view that we're going to talk about is what colleges are stressing out about right now. Obviously, the first thing is the economy, the pandemic, and everything that's happening. So they're stressing out because we're going to have somewhere around 20 to 30 million people unemployed. Those are the same people that pay for things like college education or higher education. So colleges are obviously concerned about the potential for people that are taking financial hits to be able to pay for things like higher education. So that's number one. Number two, student loans. Student loan defaults and the ability to get more student loans. Number three, with this pandemic, there's still very much a public health concern around the safety of kids that might be returning to school. Number four, the athletic programs. We all know that the athletic programs, largely, some make money, some do not make money. If you go online, you'll see they actually literally list them as non-revenue sports versus revenue sports. The landscape has changed on athletic programs like football, who now will not have the ticket sales, the sponsorships, and the TV revenues like they used to have at some of these big college universities. And of course, the last thing are the expenses. So we started by looking at revenue and expenses. If the revenues are down in these areas, the colleges are going to have to cut expenses. And if you go on the internet and just look a little bit, you'll see universities like Boise State University just cut, not canceled, they cut their baseball and swimming programs just to save $3 million a year. The parents' point of view, what are parents stressed out about? The first one is obviously the disruption in all of the families due to this COVID situation, and whether or not they can actually pay for or continue to pay for some of their children that want to go to college or are already at college. The second one is that some of these kids are going to have to go back to work just to help the families get by, and therefore they're going to be pulled out of the education system. The third one is a lot of these colleges don't know exactly whether they're going to be in person or online. So parents are questioning the value of the education via Zoom or some kind of online platform versus in person. The last thing, of course, is the public safety issue. If you're a parent, do you really want to send your kids to a big public university that could potentially expose them to this COVID virus? So now let's talk about what the kids are stressed about. And as you'll see in a minute, you'll see the videos from real kids talking frankly about their experience as they wound down their college experience from last year. As you'll see from the videos, the number one thing is a social interaction, which makes sense. They just want to hang around their friends. They want to go to football game, athletic events, fraternity events, sorority events, dorms, big social gatherings. That's what kids like to do. That's a big piece of what college is about.
The social aspect of college, I think, is for sure my favorite part. I think, aside from the academics, I was very social, in my college career, and it was definitely I made a lot of really good friends.
I'd say my favorite part of freshman year was the experience, getting out of the house, kind of going off, doing my own thing. When everything went online, kind of the whole, excitement of it all.
My favorite part about freshman year in college, I would say, would be just getting to know people, like starting a new chapter in your life. You want to go to college, you want to experience things, you want to meet people.
Number two, as you know, kids all learn very, very differently. And now this Zoom online platform has challenged many of them.
I feel like it sounds personable. I feel like I've gotten to know a lot of my teachers, and with being in a, not very connected, just through an online, through basically a FaceTime call, hasn't been, I just haven't felt the same connection as when I was in person.
Yeah, like I said, the one-on-one connection, being able to talk to the teacher after class, get actual help.
I was missing definitely that one-on-one, like in-person interactions, which I enjoy. I'm seeking that in a career field where I interact with people.
Number three, the delivery and education is very different now. Before, they would walk into a classroom, listen to a lecture, be able to talk to a professor. Now they're sitting behind a computer screen amongst hundreds of other students with little or no interaction with the professor or the teacher. Number four, they're afraid of falling behind. The professors are still teaching in their old style versus the new style like YouTube and some of the other online platforms are delivering what these kids want and need right now. Number five, student debt. Do students or parents want to go into huge amounts of debt while their kids take college from Zoom in their bedrooms at home? Number six, the job market. So the entire reason for going to school and getting a higher education is so that they can get higher paid and better paid jobs. This happened in 2008. As these kids graduate from college and get out of school, they're going to go into a much more uncertain job market with high unemployment and lots of people displaced. We all know that learning styles are changing. As a matter of fact, it's documented that our attention spans have gone down by almost 50% since 2000. Things like YouTube and Google are disrupting the educational industry right now. Kids can go online within seconds. Kids can get information and watch them in 4 to 5 minutes. So the biggest thing you need to ask yourself is, who are your teachers? Who are your mentors? Who are your coaches? Who are you listening to? Who are you watching? What are you reading? That's what you need to learn. The definition for education comes from the Latin root word educe, E-D-U-C-E, educe. And what educe means is to draw out. It literally means to draw out of somebody so that they learn themselves. And the way colleges are set up via Zoom and online without personal interaction is to basically project out. It's the opposite of what kids need right now. So the jury's still out on this. We will see whether colleges adapt. And if they do not, there's going to be lots of real estate for you to buy. Stay tuned.